What is up, guys? Dzeeff here. Today is episode 1 of a new series on my channel that I'm trying out called Casual Fridays. In this series, I want to share with you guys some of my more casual deck lists that I wouldn't necessarily recommend you go out and build, especially if they have a lot of ultra rares, but they're decks that I feel do have potential and can win a few games here and there. But they have some big downsides as well, which make them casual decks. For example, in episode 1, we have Relinquished. Now, this list was originally inspired by a list sent to me by one of my friends, Peeps Yu-Gi-Oh! A few months back, and I've taken that list, which was in Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega, and I've modified it so that it's available in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. I did have to change a few things, but overall I think the list is actually really exciting. So Relinquished actually has a lot of fun combos using Tri-Brigade and Sangan, and it's a pretty good deck against monster-heavy strategies. Unfortunately, what keeps this deck a casual deck is that it doesn't really do well against back row decks at all, and also if your opponent doesn't summon any monsters turn 1, you really can't capitalize on that, which is pretty disappointing. But if your opponent does play monster cards, even if they do have negation effects, that's great because we have a lot of ways to push through monster heavy boards. So here is the deck list, and I'll talk about a few of the combos before I move on to the gameplay in today's video. We have, of course, 3 copies of Relinquished, 3 copies of Tri-Brigade, 3 copies of Sangan, yes, that is not a joke, 3 copies of Millenniumized Illusionist, and then 1 copy of Crusadia Arborea. We also have 3 copies of a Kaiju that has 3,300 attack points, and then for the hand traps, we have 3 copies of Ash, 3 copies of Maxi, 1 copy of Valor, and 3 copies of Impermanence. For the spell cards here, we have 1 copy of Instant Fusion, which can summon either Millenniumized Restrict or Thousand Eyes Restrict, 2 copies of Preparation of Rites, and 3 copies of Pre-Preparation of Rites. So Pre-Prep is a lot better in this deck, and honestly, Prep was a little bit bricky. The deck is already 41 cards. I couldn't think of any other cards to cut. I really do think you want to play a full 3 copies of Tri-Brigade and Sangan. They start all of your combos. Prep was definitely one of the brickier cards in the deck. With Prep at 3, you have essentially 9 copies of Relinquished, but only 6 copies of Black Illusion Ritual, because Pre-Prep can grab both Relinquished and Black Illusion Ritual without any setup, while Prep usually only grabs Relinquished because to grab a Ritual spell card, it has to already be in the graveyard. So I think that playing 2 copies of this card is fine. I did find myself breaking a few times when I played 3 copies of this card, where I would have like 3 copies of Relinquished in hand, but only 1 copy of Black Illusion Ritual. So I really do not think you need to play 3 copies of this. This card is very searchable. Also keep in mind that Sangan can search Relinquished as well. It's not exactly the same as like having these types of searchers, because if you grab Relinquished with Sangan, you cannot use the effect of Relinquish that turn, but you can still use it for fusion material. Next up, we have 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. You really want to open Sangan or Tri-Brigade, but there are plenty of other good cards to add as well, like a Kaiju, for example, or maybe you really need Relinquished or Black Illusion Ritual. 3 copies of Black Illusion Ritual, of course, 3 copies of Relinquished Fusion. This card is absolutely insane, so a lot of the combos with this deck involve Relinquished Fusion. You obviously can send this card to the graveyard with Anaconda if you want, but drawing it is great too, because then you can make like Cross Sheep, for example, and then Relinquished Fusion, summon out the Millenniumized Restrict, and then use Cross Sheep to revive a monster. Keep in mind that the reason this deck is good is that Relinquished and Millenniumized Restrict, believe it or not, are both soft once per turn. That means you can make Relinquished, steal a monster, make Cross Sheep with the Relinquished, and then use the Fusion to special summon Millenniumized Restrict, and then use Cross Sheep to revive Relinquished, steal another monster, and then you can use the Relinquished Fusion Engrave to equip a monster to Millenniumized Restrict. For the extra deck, we have 1 copy of Thousand Eyes Restrict, 2 copies of Millenniumized Restrict, 1 copy of Relinquished Anima, 1 copy of Almirage. This card is very important because it means you can go into Almirage with Sangan and then search out the Crusadia Arborea. You can then special summon the Crusadia Arborea because Sangan only restricts activated effects, and this is not an activated effect to special summon. And from there, you can either go into Anaconda and then send Relinquished Fusion, or you can go into Crystron Hellkey Firebacks. If you don't need to search the Arborea though, you can simply use Tri-Brigade to special Sangan, make the Anaconda, and then you could actually search a Maxi, for example, or Millenniumized Illusionist, and then you can use the Relinquished Fusion to summon the Millenniumized Restrict. Now obviously you do still need to draw or search Relinquish to use the Anaconda to send Fusion, because this card only banishes from hand, field, or graveyard, but we have so many ways to add the Relinquished. Obviously you have 3 copies of it, plus the 2 copies of Prep, plus plus 3 copies of pre-prep, plus you could search it with the Sangan as well, even though you don't really want to do that. You'd rather search out either Millennium Eyes Illusionist or Max C, but if you need to, you can use the Sangan in the regular combo to add the Relinquished. Next up, we have 1 copy of Nightmare Phoenix, 1 copy of IP, 1 copy of Cross Sheep, and 1 copy of Anaconda. For the Link 3 monsters, we have 1 copy of Nightmare Unicorn and 1 copy of Selene, and for the Link 4 monsters, we have 1 Boral Sword, 1 Appaloosa, and 1 copy of Access Code Talker. Overall, I think the deck is very good, just not as good against decks that play back row cards, which is unfortunate because Eldritch is one of the most popular decks in Master Duel. But if you don't play against Eldritch, this deck is actually pretty darn good, which is awesome because Relinquished is obviously one of the oldest cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! And it is a very cool card to summon multiple times in one turn when your opponent least expects it. Anyway, without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy the gameplay in today's video. Maxi Ash Tour Guide. Wow, this hand's really good. Except if my opponent sets a back row and passes. Why is it when I play this deck, it's when all of my opponents suddenly just say, you know what, we're not summoning monsters today, only back row. It's so weird. I've never seen that with like a deck like this where it's like, okay, well, we're gonna have to Ash that. Probably is called by the grave. Yep. Luckily here, okay, interesting decision point. I'm always attacking with these two, but the decision point is whether or not I use the Sangan for an Almirage to add the Millennium Eyes Illusionist. It gives him 1 draw, but it gives me an extra negate. Because at the moment, my only interruption is going to be this Relinquished Fusion. Oh, Ash was uncalled by. Oh, you're right. Okay. In that case, I will not play into giving him no draw. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. The Ash was called by. Yep. Oh, no. Okay, let me think about this. Let me think about this for a sec. I was gonna put the Goddess in here, but I didn't. He has a card face down, so at the moment, if he summons Crooked Cook, he'd have to pop his own card, which he probably doesn't want to do. And that would give me an opportunity to take with the Millennium Eyes. Oh, I have Kaijus. You're right. Yeah, you're right. There you go, Crooked Cook. We can actually just wait to draw Kaiju. I don't care at all. Do your worst. You fool, for I play Kaijus in my Yu-Gi-Oh deck. Also, does he realize it's not currently unaffected? How does the Xyz work? So the card itself is unaffected by other card effects while you control no other cards, but you use a card called Right Hand Shark to summon it, so now it can't be destroyed by battle either, so it's unaffected by battle and card effects. If I activate this, and then he just doesn't respond with this, he can't activate the effect of Pop anymore. That does seem pretty good. So it can attach destroy his cards, but if he doesn't do that before I summon this guy, he misses out on it. I don't love doing this play because I don't get value out of the Relinquished and I have a Black Illusion Ritual in hand, but like if he doesn't know what this is doing, because like I'm playing a random deck, this might actually just immediately out it. So he has to... Okay, that's fine. If that stops him from using the Crooked Cook, that's perfectly fine. Okay, see what I'm talking about? So he's doing this now. So we destroyed Magical Spring? Interesting. So we'll get rid of this, we'll get rid of this. And then we just wait until we have like game in hand, I guess. Because at this point, if he's smart, he's just not going to activate anything. Like, I'm assuming this is his win condition, right? What else would he possibly be doing? I will switch my guys to defense just in case he has like an OTK type card. But I think that usually these decks, when they make the Crooked Cook, they just don't do anything else. They just want your opponent to quit. But luckily, we do have Kaijus, so we don't need to quit. Nice. We don't have game yet, though, so I'm just going to set this. Wait, how is he at 6,000? Tour Guide and Sangan. Oh, maybe I should have gone for game then. Oh, I could have won, dude. Okay, we'll win next turn. We can make Hulk next turn and then win. Like, we know what his turn's gonna be, right? So. Dude, that's not nice. Not cool, man. I'm playing Cooking the Scenarios. No reason not to attack your mons. Yeah. So as soon as you put this card in attack mode, then your opponent can just like assemble enough damage to OTK. They have 6,000 life points, so it'd be pretty easy if I just summoned a Boral Sword to do quite a lot of damage. Boral twice is 6,000. Well, no, because it's not reducing his monster's attack. You have to remember that. It's not reducing his. No, it's kind of a weird interaction. Luckily, your card still gains attack, but yeah, their card will not lose attack, which is kind of weird, but... Yeah, Chaos Max is actually like one of the best outs to Crooked Cook, hilariously. I mean, I don't think they have another turn, but I'll just add this. I was supposed to add Relinquished. I can still win, I think. Yeah, I can still win. It's fine. We'll just go for the Selene. Yeah, we can just make access code here. If he has Nibiru, we're not in a great spot. Oh, wait, I can just do this. That's kind of nuts. Okay. So sorry, dude. Nice Crooked Cook, by the way. So I'll keep that engrave. I'll just do this. Yeah, we can't play around Nibiru here, unfortunately, because if we just make access code with these two and then steal this one's in defense, he's at 63, so we have to actually like be able to attack with the lava golem to win. You could have taken the Kaiju Relinquished. I'm aware, it doesn't really matter though, because I'm using the Relinquished for link material anyway, so I might as well keep the Fusion Engrave for next turn. I wonder what the worst archetype is? I don't know. Worst is like so subjective, you know? And like you'd have to define how many cards really like make an archetype, because like Umbral Horrors only have like 5 cards. They're pretty bad. But would I call them the worst? I don't know. Yeah, you can derank out of Plat 5. You just can't derank out of Plat 1. This hand is pretty good, actually. It might not look... Oh, a fellow Ritual Duelist. Yeah, I'm going to Ash that. I've played Ritual decks. I know that this card's really important. What if he's playing Drytron? Would have the lowest win rate. So the problem with that, I mean, that sounds good, but the problem is like sample size as well matters, because like there's hundreds of decks that no one plays at tournaments. So how do you like determine the win rate of those decks? If there's a million decks out there that all have really, really bad win rates, because that's kind of what happens just in general, like in the game. If he hasn't stopped for the Max C, by the way, we just lose right here, but it is what it is. Max C, do you have the called by? Do you have the cross out? He doesn't. Okay. Maybe we can win now. Like if he just specials us and passes, our hand is pretty good. I feel like he'll do a little bit more though. Like you might as well try to set up like one card, right? Just not do the full combo. Oh my gosh, he's just popping off. He doesn't care about the Max C. He's giving us so many cards. That's not good for him. Our deck has Kaijus. I don't even know if I need the Kaiju though, because we're gonna have so many cards in hand, and our deck can just keep throwing like steal effects at the opponent. It's pretty crazy actually. So like right now in our hand, even through like a couple negates, we can still like steal his cards a few times, which is pretty good. I know we drew Max C and Ash and stuff, but this deck can play through monster heavy decks like pretty well actually. You'd be surprised, because you have like potentially like 3, 4, 5 effects that steal cards on your very first turn when you go second. And a lot of decks like don't have that many negates. Oh, there's the Kaiju. Yep, that's probably going to be game then. I mean, I'm sure he'll end on like IP plus the Herald, but yeah, one Kaiju is going to be really good here. Okay, how many cards in hand? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to draw to 11. They are special summoning even more. What are you doing? Oh, I guess I have to go for the Eva, right? What should one do when Max C is played and no negates are at the ready? You just pass, usually. If you have to give them, like, even 2 cards to get to a negate, it's like you're putting up a negate, but you're giving them 2 cards. So if they use one of those cards and it gets negated by your card, you still gave them a free card. Now, does that mean this person should have passed on just Alpha, which is when I use the Max C? I don't know, but I think that would have been better than whatever this is. I think with Drytron specifically, they should have tried to summon Herald and get to an Eva in hand with like the least amount of summoning possible, instead of just doing the regular combo that they know. This is just not good at all. But it's going to be cool to show what our deck can do, I guess. So yeah, we're going to Kaiju this. And then we're going to... We have so many cards. We're going to normal Sanguine and then activate Illusion Ritual. No, we can just pre-prep first. So we're going to go for Relinquished. We are going to Black Illusion Ritual, special summon Relinquished, tribute the other Relinquished so that we can add it back with the Preparation of Rites. Oh, we should use the Ritual Raven pet when we're playing this deck. That'd be kind of cool. So it doesn't really matter here, but we'll add this one. Well, no, it does matter because this one's getting used for material. So we'll just steal the lowest attack one that's not in attack position. So now we can go Preparation of Rites, pre-prep and prep. You know, they're both great cards with different uses. But we can add this one from our deck to our hand and then add back the Ritual spell from our grave, which is pretty cool. Some extra value there. From there, we can activate another Black Illusion Ritual, tribute the Relinquished that is already on the board, and go for another one. Should we play around Nib, maybe? I don't know. Okay, Relinquished this one. Yeah, okay, so we go for Almirage right here with the Sanguine. Add the Crusadia Arborea. Where is that? There it is. Add Arborea. Special the Arborea. Make Cross Cheap. with these two. Oh, we could have done the Hulk line. Oh, maybe we should have done that. And then I'll activate Relinquished Fusion. Yep. We'll banish the Relinquished Engrave and the... What's like the least important card? It doesn't really matter, but I guess Olmirage. Summon Millenniumize Restrict. I like that that one gets an animation. Not really sure why the regular Relinquished does not get an animation, though. That's kind of weird. Okay, so this, and then we special summon this Relinquished back. And yeah, this these cards not being hard ones per turns is so funny to me. So now we can steal this one. And from here, we can now make... Oh, he's just scooping? Okay, so right there, if you guys didn't see, we could have gone special the Kaiju to our side of the field, make Boral Sword with the Cross Cheap, and then honestly, like, I don't think he has Nibiru, so Cross Cheap, Millenniumize, plus Relinquished, and then we go attack with Boral Sword over the Kaiju, attack over the Diviner with the Relinquished, and then switch the Relinquished to defense mode, and then attack with Boral Sword a second time with like a million attack and the Kaiju. Okay, good hand. We'll try to use the Ash before the Max C if possible to like bait out a Called by the Grave, but... Oh, yeah, perfect, okay. Called by the Grave it. Oh, no Called by, okay. Set a back row, set a monster. Oh no, what have I done? I can't play the game now. Tour Guide off the top. Okay, not bad either actually. We'll pre-prep, this is fine. Activate Black Illusion Ritual. See, if I knew that he didn't have Called by the Grave there, I wouldn't have Ash. I would have tried to draw a lot of cards with Max C, but like, you don't know if they have Called by. So if I wait for a Max C and then he has the Called by, the Ash at that point is like so far behind because that's the best Ash target, the Bird Call. Your monster? Our monster. Wait, it is Nerval. Why did you not summon this card? Yeah, I guess I just pass. If your opponent doesn't play the game, you can't play the game either, which is rough. Oh, I forgot that I had the Ash Engrave. I should have used the fusion right there. Yeah. End phase, what are you doing? Okay. Yep. Tour Guide off the top, or Sangan. Tour Guide or Sangan, or Prosperity drawn in one of those. Or Black Illusion Ritual, sure. Why not? So, I can't do anything. So, I guess it's his go. Bird Up opponents never brick like this, feels bad. I mean, they're not bricking, they're just not playing cards. They had double Bird Call plus Nerval, and they just haven't done anything. No, stop passing! Just make a play, please! Come on. Oh my gosh, the third Maxi. I could go in a Cross Cheap and then start popping off, but like if I normal summon Max C, make Cross Cheap, it triggers the Nerval, which I really don't want to do. But I feel like I have to start like doing stuff, I don't know. Because if we fusion before making Cross Cheap in an attempt to like steal the Nerval with the Millenniumize, it doesn't really work because then we don't trigger the Cross Cheap anymore, and we really need to do that. So guess I'll do this, I don't know. Not super happy about it because it triggers the Nerval, but what are you gonna do? Yep. Yep. So here's the fusion. Summon this. Banish the Maxi Engrave and the Relinquished Engrave. So we could revive the Ash right here if we wanted to. See, even this doesn't have any attack points because it doesn't have any monsters. Activate a hand trap, please. I want my monster to have attack points. I think we're going to make Appaloosa. Appaloosa plus Millenniumize Restrict is pretty strong. So we make the Hulk. Yeah, what do you got? Play card. Not that card! No, don't play that one. No, don't play that one. That's the hand trap that Millenniumize Restrict cannot stop. Do I Max C that? Yeah, I think I do. Yeah, I thought I could play around hand traps because we had the Millenniumize, but I couldn't play around Nibiru. Yep. So we are still summoning a tuner here, by the way, so this isn't like the worst thing in the world. Oh, we're Drew Sangan. Cool. Have we normal summoned? Oh, we normal summoned a Maxi, yep. Okay, 2 draws, gives us a tuner. We'll go for Veiler, I think. Wait, we can keep doing stuff, right? Go for pre-prep? Yeah, the weakest Nibiru token ever. You are correct. Add Relinquished. Activate Black Illusion Ritual. I think I should be the token. He finally summoned a monster. I can steal the Nibiru. Yeah, what are you gonna do to that? Nothing. Okay. Attack for 3,000 damage. I just hope he doesn't have another hand trap, but he might. We're gonna make another Millennium Eyes, or at least attempt to. He might have... No, he can't revolt. He only has one card engraved. Do you gotta play or not? Nice. Cool. Okay. What are the fractal stats? It does 19 attack, right? Okay. Banish Relinquished Engrave and Maxi Engrave. Like, he could go normal summon fractal, and that would be pretty good for him, but this is probably, like, the best we can do. I might even set this as a bluff. Like, he has 5 guards. I'm feeling pretty bad right now. Maybe he won't realize, because... Oh, he did realize. Okay. It's like, maybe he won't realize if he just summons a monster and attacks over it. Attack Anaconda? I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I don't know about this play right here. Just attack over. Oh, cool. Okay, that's fun. So we'll see what our opponent does. But I think we might have game here. I'm going to play around Nibiru this time, I think. So that's 2 summons. Arborea is the 3rd summon. We don't have Hulk or Anaconda, though. But Phoenix is game. Okay, yeah, this is fun. Special Arborea. Wow, I actually got punished for setting this because I should have kept it in hand because I could have discarded it for Nightmare Phoenix right here. That would have been really good. Yeah, like I could go for Selene, but like what if he has like any interruption? I think Phoenix is safer. Phoenix plus Millennium Eyes with the Kaiju is game right here. So I think we're just going all in. That's the 4th summon. Oh gosh, he has another nib, doesn't he? Oh no. This is so scary. I should have kept the Black Illusion Ritual in hand. I'm getting punished so bad. We would have been able to keep the Maxi right there. He's thinking about it. It still can't... Wait, what? Oh. Wait, why would that let him do that? He can't activate it. Please don't have another Nibiru. I'm gonna be so sad. I mean, it'll be really funny if he does, but okay, he doesn't. Activate Relinquished Fusion. Okay, I don't know what our opponent was doing that game. We had Maxis for days, but he just never, like, special summoned a card for some reason. But anyway, technically a win in Platinum against Tri-Brigade Lyrilisc with this deck. I don't know what our opponent was doing, though. How did the Revolt fizzle? He only had 1 Tri-Beast card to revive. I don't even know how he was allowed to activate it.